How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. Today we got some more stream gameplay, starting off with this game on the swamp against Sorry You Lose. But before we talk about that, how do we crack some jokes? Because it seems like a lot of people are hungry to see them and they can't go a video without them. So yeah, here's a joke. BTD 6 being released in 2018. Alright, so now that we got that out of the way, I guess we can jump back into the game. Now, I'm not sure how many of you are here just to see the gameplay or to hear me talk about the gameplay, but that's kind of what it's going to be for these kinds of videos. And there's really no other way around it. It's why the back and forth and whatnot, but I think that's going to be the last time I talk about this, because I think I've said everything I needed to already. Okay, so enough of that. I think it's time we actually start jumping to gameplay. So here, we are going with Dartling Farm Bomb. It's actually pretty viable, somewhat viable strategy. I've seen it being used to various degrees of success in a couple of videos, but that's basically it. Meanwhile, Sorry You Lose over there is going with an engineer, so interesting strategy by him. Wondering what his other two towers are. Technically I already know because, post-commentary, but, let's leave it as a surprise for the viewers. So we're on round 6. We've already lost more than half our lives. I guess that's kind of the case when you go on farms and you want to greed really, really hard versus eco. Sometimes it's worth it to sacrifice those lives just to get a little bit of a farm advantage or an income advantage. That way you can kill them a lot easier later on in the game. Because it's not like they can really kill you if you play it properly. You just got to play a little bit more safe. But 60 lives is still a pretty nice cushion, I have to say. Now, Sorry You Lose there is looking pretty vulnerable to a Yellow Rush. Especially since he just sent Yellows at us, so he's probably strapped for cash. Yeah, there's a Yellow Rush. He's going to build up 2 more Engineers, it seems like, with the 9 Elchinos upgrade, but that's still going to force him to boost, because Group Bloons aren't really Sorry or the Engineer's strong points. Now I'm going to send a second Counter Rush with a boost. He's trying to get up his Bloon Trap, but he doesn't have enough money to do so. So what he's going to do, he's just going to Road Spike this rush, and then build a couple more Engineers. Looks like the leads are leaking through, but that's probably just ping differences. Alright, so he does survive with a couple lives lost. I guess I'd say it's worth it for him. Trade off a Monkey Boost for a little bit more eco and some greed. Meanwhile, my defense is pretty inadequate, plus I don't have too many farms, so I think I'm going to go for a third plantation here, but my defense is going to be pretty lacking. Especially Camry defense, but Sorry You Lose isn't going to be sending anything. He's just going to keep ecoing along with his Bloon Trap, so yeah, right now it does look like he's pretty vulnerable to a rush. Especially camo leads, or any sort of camos really, because the Engineer by itself is not really good with dealing with camos, but doesn't look like I'm going to punish him for that. Just going to let him go with that lack of camo defense. He does get a Ninja now, but that's not going to be enough. Actually, right now I'm going to send leads, which is the right thing. I probably should be sending camo leads underneath, just because the cleansing foam is getting eaten up by the leads in front. But it looks like I'm just going to go for straight leads and then a camo ceramic underneath, just in this case that the cleansing foam doesn't catch it, but it does look like it did catch it, and Sorry Lose is also going to get up a Bloon Jitsu just to clean everything else, and he will survive with no problems. So where does that leave us? Well, we're definitely lacking. We're still lacking a lot of defense, but Sorry You Lose is content with just continuing to eco. In fact, his eco is almost overwhelming me. Did lose a couple lives there. But it looks like we're just going to keep on greeting, getting up that Republic, while Sorry You Lose is still continuing to eco. Technically, we're a little bit behind on farms. It's round 19, so generally you should have at least a factory or a bank by then. But yeah, it does look like we're behind due to probably that giant rush we sent. Like you see here, we're still trying to send leads just to see if we can get through the cleansing foam and the Bloon Trap, which so far it looks like it isn't. He's got 2 Bloon Traps actually, so that pretty much negates any sort of leads. Now I'm setting up a BFB. Okay, so this will definitely force him to at least get up, probably sell his Bloon Traps, because he was going pretty hard on eco. In fact, it does look like he's still sending it. Yeah, I think we're going to go all out here, actually. So it's 2 space BFBs, a 3rd space BFB. And Sorry You Lose, he has a Monkey Buccaneer. So that's the worst case scenario for me. because now he can just ability those BFBs, and that's why I'm sending those fast cooldown mobs underneath, just to see if he can get through his defense. We're also going to layer some Regrow Rainbows underneath. We're pretty much going all out here, guys. Do or die. Sorry, Lose looks like he's getting overwhelmed. All the Bloons are being slowed down. He's starting to spam those Bloon Jitsus, using that boost as well. Looks like the Bloons are regrowing though, and they're getting pretty far. Even starting to send Regrow leads underneath now since he sold all his Bloon traps. Then he doesn't have any more lead popping power. He's gonna get more engineers. Looks like all the Bloons are getting through, but he's still not dying, and we are going to die to the AI Bloons, and that's gonna be game. You know, that looks like a pretty convincing win on my side, but I guess ping differences probably meant either the regrow Bloons didn't regrow as much on my opponent's side, or that maybe he was about to die and we just died to AIs instead. Feels bad. Maybe I should have focused on trying to defend the AI Bloons instead of sending those last couple regrow leads, because I'm not sure how much they did, but it is what it is though. Pretty intense end to a game, at least compared to your average game. So now we're on to another game. This one's a little bit more chill, mostly because we're playing on Mondrian, and Mondrian isn't really a map where exciting things happen because, as you know, it's a really, really long map. At least on mobile it is. On Flash, it's a pretty challenging map. You know, instead of the Bloons looping around the middle twice, it only does it once on Flash, and that makes it a lot more fun, needless to say. Alright, so it looks like both of us are going farm versus farm. Bloon Striker over there does have Dart Farm, so I assume his third tower is going to be Ace, because Ace is pretty good for this map. Basically, any map where the Bloons linger around in the middle of the track a lot, that's when the Ace is going to be most effective. And me on my side, I got Heli, Pilot, Chipper, and Bomb. So that Bomb tower being my fourth tower. So technically we have Heli and Chipper if we're playing by fair rules, which is obviously not as good as HIV or Heli Farm Ace. The only reason I brought it this time was just to have some fun, you know. Sometimes a break from the norm is a good thing once in a while. So we're gonna get Bloon Striker to boost on round 5 pinks, which was kind of questionable move by him. I mean, 2 triple dart monkeys should be enough to defend without a boost, but I guess his placement isn't really that great. You generally don't want your 2 dart monkeys to be beside each other and shooting at the same time, because that generally means the pinks will get by. I don't want to go too much into details of that, but it's a lot better to spread it out. That's all I'm going to say. Doesn't look like that's what he wants to do, though. It looks like he wants to group his little monkeys together, you know, just to give them some company. Although I'm sure they'll be fine by themselves. Anyways, over on our side, he isn't sending yellows at us. So that means we don't have to get our Razor Rotors just yet. Instead, I'm just going to greed and go for this farm. Okay, now he's sending Regrow Whites, but at that point, it's kind of too late. Just gonna get my Razor Rotors up anyways, because I'll probably need it for round 10. And getting ready to send some Regrow leads out. Alright. So yeah, we're even on farms. Perhaps this will get him to boost or something. At least I'm hoping. But that Juggernaut seems to be doing just fine. Just fine. I'm just gonna go ahead and pull a wave in the farm game here, because he is not sending any round 11 rushes. So now we're just getting away with very, very little defense. And he's also sending camos, which I can easily just spend like $500 on just to get up that Helipilot upgrade, and then we're set. Yeah, part of what makes Helipilot so good is that, like, basically, it's almost all their upgrades have been buffed, including the camo upgrades. You know, instead of $600, I think now it costs like half of that, like $300. So you get really, really cheap popping power, which is great for the Helipilot. And because of our earlier greed, I think that allows us to get up a very, very early bank, round 14. Meanwhile, Bloon Striker is very, very far away from a bank still, only 4 plantations. Looks like he's going to send a Regrow Letter Rush at me, maybe to force me to sell my bank, but with the help of that 4th tower in the cannon, I will be able to defend it just fine. Even the camos underneath, because it wasn't really that many camos. Yeah, it was kind of a little bit of a scumbag move over there using my 4th tower, but he's free to use his 4th tower if he wants. If he does do that, then that's fine by me. But it looks like you're just going to preemptively place that Monkey Ace just in case I send a rush, but I'm not sure how much that will help against a single Moab, because just look at his defense right now. It seems like it's pretty lacking. Especially since his Dart Monkeys are on the top right corner. That means the Juggernaut's going to be very, very late in trying to kill those ceramics once the Moab layer is popped. Plus, I'm also going to send some Regrow leads underneath. That forces him to boost. And yeah, it's still taking a while for him to break that mob layer. Now it breaks, but it might be a little too late. He's even using his 4th tower with the mortar, but that is not going to be enough, and that's going to be game. So yeah, note to all of you watching, placement does matter, especially on a map like that. Anyways, that's going to do it again with another post commentary. I know a couple people suggested I do live commentaries during stream and upload those instead, and I'm looking into that. You may see that once I'm satisfied with the commentary during streams, but other than that, we're just going to stick with this at the moment. Hope you don't mind at all in the meantime. But yeah, I'll see you all on the next one.